Okay, so welcome everyone to your evening meditation. It's going to be doing meditating on workbook lesson 339 from A Course in Miracles workbook and the preliminary section to the series of workbook lessons we're busy with on what is the ego. So just going somewhere where you're not going to be disturbed, putting your phone on mute or silent, sitting comfortably in a meditation posture. So that could be a cross-legged, lotus or half lotus. If you're an advanced meditator, you know what that means. But mostly you can just sit comfortably on a chair, sitting with your feet shoulder-width apart. Just cup your hands in your lap. Keep your back straight. Close your eyes. And start off by taking a nice deep breath in through the nose. And so imagine you breathing into the belly button, stomach's inflating like a balloon. Just give your sphincter muscle. That's the muscle used to contract the flow of urine. Squeeze the last drops out. A squeeze that creates an energy lock. It's called Mula Bandha in yoga. It's a root lock. And it also creates a pumping action. You pump this energy up the spine into your upper chest, your heart center. Put one hand on your heart, over your heart. Just feel that nice, warm, tingling, comforting sensation there. And draw the energy up the spine into the crown of your head. Just pause at the top of the inhale. Just find the stillness, the peace. And check in with your mind. So just noticing any thoughts or emotions going on. In there, so particularly anything negative. So anything negative that feels contracted, constricting, limiting in any way. And you're just going to notice the emotions. You're going to notice the physical sensations. So maybe there's a knot in your stomach, block in your chest, tight jaw, clenched fists. The extreme, sweaty palms, cold sweats, nausea, panic attacks can come just from your thoughts and emotions. Wherever you are on that scale, just notice. And now you're just going to choose to let it all go with the breath. So exhale. Now just exhaling out, letting it all go. It's like a dark gray or black cloud leaving you. Imagine that. As you do that, you feel this energy you raised up into the crown of your head just subsiding back down into the front channel of your body, coming to rest in your lower stomach. Just pause there at the bottom of the exhale, smile. And then repeat the cycle, just breathing in again. A nice, deep, slow inhale into the stomach. Squeeze the sphincter muscle, feel the energy rising up the spine, draw it up into your heart center. Feel a nice, warm, tingling sensation under your hand. And draw it up the spine into the crown of your head. Feel this nice warm thread of energy flowing up your spine into the crown of your head. Pause at the top of the inhale. It's like the cresting of a wave. You just freeze frame the wave briefly. Connect with the stillness and the peace in the gap between breaths. And then exhale. Just sigh it all out. So keep your mouth closed this time. Air flowing out of your nostrils. Make a sighing sound in the back of your throat. So you're fogging sunglasses, but you keep your mouth closed. Air flows out of the nostrils, the chest and the stomach suck back in. And the energy comes subsiding back down the front channel of your body, coming to rest in your lower stomach and groin. Just pause there, smile again, and then repeat the cycle. So breathing in, just noticing all the subtle sensations of the breath, clenching of the sphincter muscle, the rising of the stomach and the chest, energy flowing up the spine, nice warm feeling in your heart. Drawing that up into the crown of your head, pause, smile, and exhale. The process reverses, noticing the air flowing out of your nostrils. Sighing sound in the back of your throat, chest and stomach suck back in, the energy subsides back down into the lower stomach. So just step back and watch your breath, just breathing this nice, deep rhythmical pattern. And all your attention on the breath brings your mind into the present moment. There's no room for anything else. No room for negativity. Just pure presence. So just breathe and watch your breath. Step back. Just allow that process to happen. Notice how peaceful and calm you feel when you're just watching your breath, not really consciously thinking about anything. So now, I'm just going to read you these words. This is in answer to the question, what is the ego? It's the preliminary section to this series of workbook lessons we're busy with. Listen non-intellectually. It's not about understanding intellectually. It's more about feeling into the lesson, feeling into the words, allowing them to activate an underlying feeling and emotion. It's really the whole point is to take you into a deeper state of awareness, of connection with your source. And each word, each sentence has some kind of frequency, an energetic frequency. The idea is to absorb those underlying frequencies, the underlying message, energetic message and intent behind these words, rather than just trying to understand intellectually the words, which are just, as Jesus says in the Manual for Teachers of A Course in Miracles, just symbols twice removed from reality. So just keep watching your breath to keep yourself in this nice, still, calm, clear, empty, open but aware state. And listen in this energetic, emotional way. I'll remind you every so often just to check in with your breath. Keep your mind nice and still, calm, empty, open but aware as you listen to these profound words from our master teacher, Jesus. Teach us what the ego is. So the ego is idolatry, he says, a sign of limited and separated self, small self, born in a body, doomed to suffer and to end its life in death. It is the, quote, will that sees the will of God, the will of love, as enemy, and takes a form in which it is denied. The ego is the, quote, proof that strength is weak and love is fearful. Life is really death, and what opposes God or love alone is true. Just pause, watch your breath, staying nice and still, calm, empty, open but aware. Some of these ideas are quite intense. This is one of those intense sections of the Course where he's not holding anything back. He's telling us exactly what the ego is, what it does, how it works, so that we can become aware of it. And when we truly become aware of what it is, then and only then can we choose to let it go and lay it aside, which is what the entire Course is really about, just to help you to make that decision to let it go or to forgive it as the Course calls this process of letting go of the ego. So the ego is insane, and fear, it stands beyond the everywhere, apart from all, in separation from the infinite. In its insanity, it thinks it has become a victor over God himself, over love itself. So you can always substitute the word God for the word love. I'll help you to do that from time to time. So the ego is insane. In fear, it stands beyond the everywhere, apart from all, in separation from the infinite. In its insanity, it thinks it has become a victor over God or love himself. And in its terrible autonomy, it sees the will of God has been destroyed. It dreams of punishment and trembles at the figures in its dreams, its enemies who seek to murder it before it can ensure its safety by attacking them. So as I said, Jesus is laying it on quite thick. And if you notice any triggers, any emotions arising, just notice them, keep breathing. And imagine they're like dark clouds, and you just notice them, blow them away with the wind of your breath. You have no power to obscure the light that is truly in you, the light of the sun, which is your source, the eternal, serene blue sky of your true awareness. Because as Jesus says, the Son of God is egoless. What can he know of madness and the death of God, the death of love itself, when he abides in him? What can he know of sorrow and of suffering when he lives in eternal joy? What can he know of fear and punishment, of sin and guilt, of hatred and attack, when all there is surrounding him is everlasting peace, forever conflict-free and undisturbed, in deepest silence and tranquility? So to know reality is not to see the ego, but its thoughts, its works, its acts, its laws and its beliefs, its dreams, its hopes, its plans for its salvation, and the cost belief in it entails. In suffering, the price for faith in it is so immense. The crucifixion of the Son of God is offered daily at its darkened shrine, and blood must flow before the altar, where its sickly followers prepare to die. Again, just watch your breath, noticing any reaction to those words. It's quite intense. He's talking about the darkness. He's getting us to see the darkness of the ego. And see just what it costs. The price for faith in it is so immense. The crucifixion of the Son of God, crucifixion of the extension of love, is offered daily at its darkened shrine. Well, because people die every day. This is the crucifixion of the Son of God. And blood must flow before the altar, where its sickly followers prepare to die. So violence and sickness and suffering and death are inevitable consequences of this belief in separation. And all the works and the acts and the laws and the beliefs and the dreams and hopes, plans for its salvation that the ego has, only serve to confirm that suffering and pain is real, and that they are inevitable and inescapable. And yet, says Jesus, will one lily of forgiveness change the darkness into light, the altar to illusions, to the shrine of life itself? And peace will be restored forever to the holy minds which God or love created as his Son, as its extension, his dwelling place, its dwelling place. His joy, its joy. His love, its own extension, its own love. Completely his, completely loves, completely one with him, completely one with love. So if you prefer, you can always think of God not as a personal self, not as something male. So the language talks about his, him, but actually is just trying to put what is non-dual, what is beyond form, what's beyond gender, masculine, feminine, into words. So it's a pointer. Use whichever pointer is most helpful. The idea of love and love being non-gender specific, neutral. It's more helpful than use the idea of love. It's love's extension. It's love's dwelling place. Love's joy. Love's love. Love is itself. Completely loves and completely one with itself. So let's move on now to today's lesson, which is lesson 339 from the workbook. I will receive whatever I request. So take a nice deep breath in through the nose, just breathing in not just air, but imagine you're breathing light into your stomach, filling your stomach up like a light-filled balloon. And drawing this light up the spine into your heart center. One hand on your heart. Squeeze the sphincter muscle to facilitate that. And you just draw this column of beautiful golden or white light up the spine into your chest. And let it rise all the way up into the crown of your head. Pause at the top of the inhale, smile. Say, I will receive whatever I request. So you've requested the light and the love and peace and the joy. If you're sincere in that request, that is what you will receive. Let's just listen to what Jesus has to say about this idea. It's not quite as simple as that. No one desires pain, but he can think that pain is pleasure. No one would avoid his happiness, but he can think that joy is painful, threatening, and dangerous. Everyone will receive what he requests, but he can be confused about the things he wants, the state he would attain. What can he then request that he would want when he receives it? He has asked for what will frighten him and bring him suffering. So now as you exhale, just blowing all of these ideas of suffering and fear out like a dark gray or black smoke out of your mouth. Just letting them all go into the nothingness that they really are. You have to let go of your investment and attachment to pain and suffering in order to receive what is true. If you are thinking negative thoughts, you are asking for pain and suffering. That's really the summary of today's lesson. So let us resolve today to ask for what we really want, and only this. That we may spend this day in fearlessness without confusing pain with joy or fear with love. So once again, breathing in. Just inhaling this beautiful golden or white light. Imagine it's flowing into your stomach, your heart center. It's drawing up the spine. Squeeze your sphincter muscle to help that, to help pump the energy up the spine. Let it flowing into your heart center. One hand on your heart. And then it's drawing all the way up the spine into the crown of your head. It's drawing into your third eye. And just smile. Just smiling Top of the inhale. Say, Father, Source, this is your day. It is a day in which I would do nothing by myself, but hear your voice in everything I do, requesting only what you offer me, accepting only thoughts you share with me. And so exhale as you exhale, just surrender, letting everything else go, and being willing to hear only this voice, and accept only thoughts of love and peace and joy, only thoughts coming from your source, your higher self. Just letting it all go, stepping back, watching your breath. I'm going to end the meditation with a couple of minutes of silence. And just breathe, relax, be still. Remind yourself that you will receive whatever you request. And so request that the light comes, the light, the love, the peace, the joy. Invite them in, and you will receive what you request, as the lesson says. Invite them in now. All you have to do is step back, watch your breath, just create a space for them to come in. If you invite a guest to your house, you don't generally have a house that's so cluttered that there's no room for them. You have to make some room. So do that by just watching your breath, watching the subtle sensations of the breath, keeping your mind very present, but calm, clear, empty, open, and aware. And you just allow these higher thoughts and feelings of peace, love, and joy to naturally arise and just come into your mind, speak to you. Just telling you the truth that only these are real. All the ego's world of make-believe that causes so much pain is simply unreal. So just for the next 2 minutes, breathe, relax, step back, watch your breath, and receive what you truly request. Love, peace, and joy for the next 2 minutes of silence. Anything comes into just disturb this peace, any resistance, thoughts of pain. Notice those thoughts. Imagine they're like cloud patterns just drifting by. They have no power to obscure the sun, your source, and the eternal serene sky, which is your awareness of the source. So just exhale and blow them away with the breath. Sink into the stillness and the silence, which is where everything you truly want resides. For another minute of silence. And so just gently on the count of 3, bring your awareness back into the body, back into the world. So 1, just breathing in. Notice the stomach rise, the chest rise. Subtle flow of air into the nostrils. Clench your sphincter muscle, feel the life energy rising up your spine into the crown of the head. Take another sip of air at the top, pause at the top of the inhale, smile. Now exhale, just sigh it all out. Making a sighing sound in the back of your throat, you keep your mouth closed. So you're fogging sunglasses, but your mouth's closed, air flows out of the nostrils. And you feel this energy you raised up there subsiding back down into your heart center, flowing back down into the stomach. Coming to rest in the lower stomach and groin area. So while your tension's down there, 2, just noticing whatever you're feeling down there, weight of your body, pressing down into the chair, feet touching the ground. Maybe there's a subtle taste in your mouth, a smell in your nose. Just notice these sensations we don't normally pay attention to. Notice what you're hearing, so any sounds in the surrounding environment, just noticing those. Subtle sounds like the whirring of your computer fan, ticking of a clock, I can hear crickets. Whatever's going on in your world, just listen to it. Allow the sounds to arise and then subside, or they just continue. It's continuous. But what you're starting to pay attention to is the background, the ground of being. This is the ground of being, the silence, true reality, whatever you want to call it, out of which all sound arises. It's the base reality. So just pay more attention to that, rather than the foreground of your sense perceptions and what you think about your sense perceptions. It's our thoughts about what we experience here in the sensory world that cause us all the pain and suffering. Without thought, without interpretation, these experiences would be far less painful. It's not painful at all. So 3, just open your eyes, apply the same principle, look around, just noticing everything. It's very calm, clear, detached way. Let your eyes rest for a couple of seconds on one thing, then moving on to another, and another, and another. Without any investment. And name these things, or judge them, or label them. Just allow them to be. Notice how peaceful it is when you do that. And so anchor that peace in for the rest of the evening. Set the intention to stay there no matter what happens. To help you to do that, you can use the shorter recording that I sent you if you're in the Art of Letting Go club. And it's in the WhatsApp group. So you can listen to that whenever you need it. You can listen to it every hour, I recommend. And if you don't have time for that, just pause every now and then, especially if something comes in to challenge you. Just breathe into it. Notice the thoughts and emotions, and then as you exhale, you let them go by just using today's idea. I will receive whatever I request. So if you want to think negative thoughts, then you'll receive pain and suffering. If you want to think positive thoughts, you'll receive what they bring: love, peace, and joy. So I wish you a very loving, peaceful, and joyful evening ahead. Thank you for listening, and namaste, which means the divine love and peace and joy in me honors and acknowledges the divine love, peace, and joy in you. So just looking ahead to tomorrow, we will have a session tomorrow evening at the same time, 6:30. It's USA time, 5:30 UK time. And there's an afternoon session at 12:30 UK, 1:30 SA time. If you're out there on YouTube, you can either subscribe to the channel and be notified when I go live, or go to freemeditations.online. I'll put that URL in the post below this, so you can sign up there, and then you can join us in the afternoons as well. So I hope to connect with you tomorrow. Have a very peaceful and flowing evening in the meantime.